the childhood question, I had asked you had anything happened to you during childhood, and you said no. But it turned out that that wasn't quite the case. So go ahead and express yourself. What was it that happened during childhood?
Well, childhood,
Did y'all ever discuss that incident happening?
Never. Probably never will. And my mom needed the money for the rent, so she took the money and paid her rent with it, and I didn't graduate. She watches your videos. I'm sure she'll see it, which is why I'm kind of like afraid. And they were just like, well, guys will pay more for that. You should do that. And I'm like, oh, it's sex. I can do sex. I'm good at sex.
What effect has that had on you?
Yeah, I was trying not to cry.
You gotta let that stuff out.
What's up, YouTube? I just want to shout out all the members, all the subscribers, and all the supporters. Everybody who shouts me out in the street, I appreciate y'all. It keeps me charged up. Now back to the content.
What's up, YouTube? Atlanta Street Interviews out here with the update, guys. So how you doing today, sweetie?
I'm holding up.
Okay. So, you're in a new facility that's a little bit further away from the city. How's that going for you?
Well, this is my first week here. I'm at the Ackworth.
You don't have to say exactly where, but yeah.
This is my first week at a facility of just trying to, my journey to sobriety. So, yeah, it's been okay.
Okay, awesome. So we're gonna jump right in. There was a couple of things that we missed on the first interview. We've kept in touch since then, and so like I said, we're gonna dive right in. So, starting with the childhood question, I had asked you had anything happened to you during childhood, and you said no. But it turned out that that wasn't quite the case. So go ahead and express yourself. What was it that happened during childhood?
Well, childhood, I was between my mom, dad, and grandparents a lot. I lived with my dad my dad and his family for a while, and was molested there, and it didn't really resonate that it was a problem for me until now, which is weird.
Wait, so you didn't realize that this was like molestation until what age?
No, I realized it was molestation. It was around 7. I didn't realize that it had the effect on me and my sexuality, my dating life, my self-worth.
What effect did it have on your... Well, let's start there. What effect did it have on your self-worth?
I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel like I could be loved. I didn't feel like I was worthy of it. I don't think I loved myself, to be honest. So there was no way I thought that anybody else could. So, yeah.
No, that's deep and that's real. So this started at 7. Was it one time or was it ongoing?
It was once.
Okay, and so what was it that happened?
Well, I performed oral sex on a sibling.
Okay, was this a male or a female sibling? Female. Okay. And so it only happened one time. Do you have an idea as to why it only happened one time, or was it a thing to where something happened and what was it that you think made it only happen one time versus them doing it to you over and over?
It happened once because I went to school one day, and my parents, they forgot to get me or they were just busy, but I went to DFACS I was on hold for about 72 hours, and I think that's probably why it just stopped. I don't know if they had a conscience after the fact, but luckily it was only once.
Wow. Were you the only one that got taken when that defect situation happened, or did all your siblings get taken?
Yeah, just me.
Just you. Okay. So they may have felt bad for you, is what you're saying, type deal?
I think so. I think so. I don't know.
Did y'all ever discuss that incident happening?
Never. Probably never will.
Okay. If that sibling were to see this video, and to hear you talking about this for kind of the first time, is there any message that you have for that sibling?
I just wonder why. Like, it kind of still has power over me in a way. I wonder why. Afterwards, I battled with like my sexuality and everything. I was into men, into girls. I was into everything.
He was hypersexual and
yeah,
just kind of out there and open with it.
yeah.
Like, what age did you lose your like actual virginity, like as far as being penetrated and stuff like that?
Probably about 13 or 14.
Okay, so kind of more a normal age as far as that goes, even though that's still, you know, early enough, but I get it. I lost my virginity at 14.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, do you think that if you discussed that with your sibling, that it would give you some healing?
No.
If they were to maybe acknowledge it and validate how you feel about it, you don't think that would feel better?
No. She watches your videos. I'm sure she'll see it, which is why I'm kind of like afraid, but no, it won't give me any healing. It's kind of deep rooted. I don't know if it happened to her also, so she'd probably either deny it or deflect. Or
how old was she at the time?
She's 5 years older than me. I think I was like 7. She may have been about
12 or something.
Yeah.
And so she kind of just made you do it, like was like, hey, do this type deal, or
yeah.
Okay. And I guess you felt forced, basically.
Yeah,
like
I didn't really know like what I was doing.
Right. Yeah,
what
7 years old. That's really young. That's 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so that's an incident that occurred that you didn't talk about in the first interview, which which obviously has had a huge impact on your life, and on some of the decision making and things that you've done. You know, what grade was it that you got up to in high school?
I got to my senior year.
And so on the interview, it said that you had dropped out because you couldn't afford it.
Yeah, couldn't afford it. We were, my dad, he was diagnosed schizophrenic, so we all received like SSI at the time. I was the only one receiving it because I was under 18. And my mom needed the money for the rent, so she took the money and paid her rent with it, and I didn't graduate. So I just I still feel like, I don't like to blame people, or I blame myself more than anything, because once I knew I didn't like have the money, I just stopped going to classes. I just gave up because it wasn't going to happen.
And here I was ready to kind of blame you for, I guess, you know, deciding to drop out of school, which I guess you take accountability for it, right? You take your part in it, but you know, I get it. It was some tough situations going on. But so you dropped out, and you know, you was, I guess you say 17 at that time?
Yeah, I was about 17, 18.
17, 18, and so you're 27 now. You're still 27, right?
28.
Okay, you had a birthday?
Yeah, July 22nd.
Oh, Lord, okay. Well, happy belated birthday. Okay, so the long and short of it is that, you know, paint the picture of what these 10 years have been like from the time that you decided to drop out of high school to now, with you being into a you know, kind of treatment facility, shelter situation. You know, paint the picture for the young ladies that are watching about what that decision looks like 10 years down the road and how you got here.
It looks rough. I won't say the entire journey is rough, but well, from out of high school, I did dance to just make ends meet. There was a house full with my mom, so I didn't really stay there. So I would just dance and come back, bring them money, and I would be just back off to trafficking or dancing or just trying to provide for myself and for my family.
So the trafficking pretty much went hand in hand with the dancing?
Yeah.
Okay, so you was kind of doing both, or just kind of wherever the money was at, that's where you was rolling with type deal?
Yeah, I honestly wanted to start dancing, just dancing alone. And they were just like, well, guys will pay more for that. You should do that. And I'm like, oh, it's sex. I can do sex. I'm good at sex.
What effect has that had on you?
I didn't like sex for a long time. I didn't like men. I thought all men were just like evil or... Yeah, I just didn't... I was completely numb to just men or dating or just... I questioned people a lot. Like their motives, their intentions. What do you want? Why are you here? Why are you helping me? Like, what? Yeah.
So you got your guard up. You got a wall up like crazy.
Yeah.
What was during some of the trafficking stuff? And we touched on this a little bit in the first interview, but if you could elaborate, what was some of the worst stuff that you've seen either happen to you or other women who were selling themselves and working that industry?
The worst thing I've seen, well, I guess it kind of just comes with the territory where like the pimp makes you fall in love and then he goes and fuck another girl right next to you in the next bed. We're in a double bed hotel, so you're just looking at them fuck or you hear them fucking, and it kind of messes with you. But once you're in it, you're like, well, it was so bad, you're like, well, at least I get a turn or something like that.
How many girls would he have at any one time?
Probably at the most I've seen was 2 in the same room. That was but yeah, he had plenty of girls working for him.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. And he made you fall in love with him?
Yeah, but I knew it wasn't love because love doesn't feel like that. It felt like it though.
Because on the interview you said that you had been in that situation for 2 years.
Yeah, I was. For 2 years. The first year it was basically just trafficking. The second year it got rough because I kind of just wanted out. And I got a job. And once I got a job, he went crazy. Like, oh, you're trying to leave. You're doing this and that. You'll never make as much money as you would make if you were with me. Nobody's going to want you. Blah, 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 blah. And once I started working, I couldn't, like, traffic as much as I wanted to because I was tired. I would get home from work probably about 5
Where
or
was
6.
home?
Home was the hotel.
Okay, so not like mom's house or anything like that. It was the hotel, basically.
Yeah, I rarely went home to mom because there was so many people there.
Who all lived there?
My mom, my sister, she had roommates, her guy friends, and then another couple. So it was like 6 people and about 3 children.
Okay, packed house.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, did any violent stuff happen when you was in the sex trafficking stuff?
Nothing violent happened. Like the worst, I had to like lock myself in the bathroom or something just to like keep things from escalating. I wanted out, and he would just like beat down the door, open the door. Yeah, but it didn't get physical. I'm a fighter. I fight back.
Okay. And so the father of your child, was that like a customer type deal that basically was just trying to, as they call, turn a hoe into a housewife type deal? Like, is that what was going on?
No, not necessarily. I want to say he kind of helped me out of that situation to put me back in it, almost.
Oh, so he tried to traffic you?
No, he didn't try to traffic me. He just, like, tried to make me do things for a sexual exchange. It's like, oh, if you want to see your son, come suck my dick. If you want to, yeah. Yeah.
And so, let's talk about that, right? Because young ladies need to understand that the decisions you make, will lead you down certain roads. And you had a child with this guy, and you haven't been able to see the child.
Yeah.
How long has it been?
I mean, he allows me to see him, but only when it's, like, convenient or when he wants something. I'll try not to think about it like that and just try to go see him anyways, but I know it's always a trap.
Want something meaning like sex?
Not just want something, like, yeah, want something like sex. He wants control over me. He wants power. He wants to, like, get me out there to where I have nothing. And
so, when was the last time you saw your son?
Last time I saw my son was probably about a couple weeks ago.
Okay. And did you have to give him sex in order to do that?
No, luckily we were at my mom's house. Yeah, and he just brought him willingly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did that feel to be able to see your son?
Oh, I felt great. Like, my son, we, like, in movies, we ran to each other and just, like, embraced each other. It was great. It was great. Yeah.
And so when you have to leave from those meetups, how does that feel?
Feels terrible. Like, I don't know when I'll see him again.
Is it like a part of you that feels like you're kind of failing him and things like that?
No, not really, because I know I'm trying my best, but I feel like it's getting harder and harder to get to him. I know he knows that I didn't fail him, but I know he knows something, because I teach my son, like, I taught him, like, literally everything. Like, okay, he may not understand the situation now, but I try to, like, okay, mommy's going to be
plant
gone
the
for a
seeds
while.
so that when he does get older, he'll be able to kind of understand type deal. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying not to cry.
You gotta let that stuff out.
Yeah.
So how much of this is your decision making versus things that have happened to you?
Majority of it is my decision making. Like, I'm a risk taker. I will leave if I don't have anything, which I think was dumb after I did it. Like, I stayed with my son's dad, but the abuse was so bad that I left. I didn't have anywhere to go.
Was it physical abuse?
It was physical, mental, financial, like, parental, all types of abuse.
Why do you think it was like that? Were y'all good at one point? Like, I know that it was a pretty quick romance, but was it like, like, what made you decide that, you know what, I'm gonna let him come and get me or whatever? I guess you was already trying to get out of the situation that you was in.
Yeah.
But you tell me, like, what was it that made you feel like, you know what, he's a good enough guy? And, did you plan on having a baby with him, or that just happened?
Honestly, I don't know what kind of just led me. Oh, okay, I do remember. I got out of that situation. I was dating another guy, and he kind of just, like, we were literally in the middle of the street fighting across the street from the apartments that my son's dad stayed. He wasn't my son's dad at the time.
Right. So he
saw the altercation.
Right.
He pulls up and he's like, get in the car. So I leave the past dude. I got in the car and I didn't see him since.
So he kind of saved you from that situation.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Because you was at another shelter when we interviewed last time.
Yeah.
So some of this is a deal to where the common denominator in all these situations is you, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think that? Why do you think that you're the common denominator? Like, why are you making? In other words, so that guy saved you from a situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I asked him, why didn't y'all work out? Why wasn't you able to, wife her up the way that it sounded like you initially wanted to? What would he tell me? What would he say?
Honestly, I knew he wasn't the guy for me. My parents and my family was give him a shot. I can honestly say I would have wanted to, because it would have been the right thing to do. We were already shacking up, so why not get married? Or
what was it that made you feel like he wasn't the guy for you?
I don't know, my instincts and kind of just being shallow. He wasn't my type.
He wasn't your type.
Yeah.
So what's your type, and then what type was he?
Well, my appearance type would have been taller, darker. But now that I'm older, it's just how you treat me really matters more than that. Yeah.
Right. So the physical aesthetics, and that happens, right? When people tend to age, they tend to, lose some of the physical requirements and things like that. But so you're saying that I guess he was a shorter and lighter skinned guy?
Yeah.
Okay. But was there anything non-physical that wasn't your type deal?
I guess it just led back to, because I met him immediately after trafficking. I'm like, no way, I'm not dealing with men. I know what you want. I know what you're after. I know what you're doing. I know. Maybe it was me. I was
kind of like on guard type deal.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit not easy to deal with.
Yeah, a little not easy to deal with, and then after a while, it became just more evident, because we wasn't officially dating. We were living together, but he still had his women on the side, basically.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay. All right. Well, listen, like I say, we really appreciate you taking the time and giving us this deeper dive update. We're 100% rooting for you. You've been in your sobriety now for how long?
A week.
Okay, so you're rocking and rolling. This journey is never just straight up.
Yeah.
It's always going to be some ups and some downs in there, some peaks and some valleys. But if anybody out there did want to continue to reach out, help, or donate, is it pretty much the same information?
I had a new phone, so it would be shekinahnishun, which is my first and middle name.
How do you spell Nishun?
Nishun.
Okay. And we got Shekinah. Okay, so shekinahnishun, that's the Cash App?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we really appreciate you, like I say.
Thank you.
Definitely wishing them but the best, okay?
Thank you.
All right, make sure you have a good one.